What's up, everybody? And today we're talking about Marvel Cosmic Invasion. So this isn't my usual type of game. I'm not a beat 'em up person. I have nothing against the games, but the only real memory I have of playing these types of games are when I was little. Like the local Pizza Hut had the TMNT Ninja Turtles arcade game, and I remember playing that. But aside from that, I don't really remember playing like beat 'em up games. And not really like a fighting game, which I know is a different genre, but I mean, like, it's just like really not my style, so I never really got into it. But I like Marvel. I love superheroes. I saw this, I was like, all right, this looks cool. And then once they announced that they're putting Cosmic Ghost Rider in there, I was like, all right, gotta buy it. Ghost Rider fan. I mean, I can't over, like, you know what I'm saying? It's not one of the main ones, but I'm like, okay, Cosmic Ghost Rider, I'm in. Take my money. Not to mention that if you're on PlayStation and you have PlayStation Plus, it is like discounted. So instead of being like $30, it was like 25 or something like that. And I was like, okay, even more reason to buy this game. It took me about, I feel like 5 hours to beat by myself. And I gotta say, this game is a blast, honestly. The art style, I love the classic, pixel art, arcade machine type style. Like, it really does feel like you're playing one of those games. Like, you put a quarter in and you're like, all right, let's go. I love that very much. I like that. As someone who's been a nerd since I was little, especially when it comes to like superheroes and stuff, I love all the deep cuts in the story. You don't play a beat 'em up really for the story, and I think the story is super simple. You know what I mean? It's just, hey, there's this guy named Annihilus. He has a bunch of bugs, and they're taking over the Marvel universe. And so we're going around and we're doing the superhero thing, saving the day. You're getting, I think the first level you get like Beetle, which is a classic, or I don't know, classic is the word, but he's a Spider-Man villain. But you might not know that, so that's what I mean. Is like, you get those deep cuts. When I saw Beta Ray Bill was on the roster, I was like, okay, let's fucking go. And I was playing with my brothers at some point, and they're just like, who's this bird guy? And I was just like, that's Beta Ray Bill. He's basically like Thor. Give him all the lowdown, you know what I mean? And I just feel like so many of the levels are just like, if you know, if you don't, like, bad guy, bugs, we fight, you know what I mean? I think that works so well for the beat 'em up style, and that's why they can get away with doing these characters that you probably wouldn't know, even though the Marvel universe has been going for like a decade plus now. It's just like, whatever, people, let's do the thing, let's get in there. The combat is super fun. I love that you can have two characters, and you can switch between them at any time, but you can also like hold I played on PlayStation, so I hold L2 and I can do pick a direction, and I can have them do a move, so they'll come out and do a quick move for me and come back and go away. Or I'd love to, I'm beating up everybody, I see that their meter's full, I let them come out, and then they do their special and they go back away. I'm like, all right, cool. A lot of the boss battles I ended up, because I rode with Cosmic Ghost Rider and Wolverine, so like I would kick as much ass as I could with Cosmic GR, and then if I was like about to die, or he actually did die, I'd swap out to Wolverine. I'm bouncing around the screen, finish off the boss battle, we move on. You know what I mean? So the combat was super fun, very basic. You have your basic attack, you have your special move. If you hold either of them, sometimes they do something different. Usually the basic attack, special move kind of depends on the character. But again, I was using Cosmic Ghost Rider, so he has the blaster. If you hold it down, his special move, he unloads the clip. So I was like, all right, cool. So you also have like a dash attack. So once you get that down, I mean, like, I'm dashing with Cosmic Ghost Rider. He has the fire. Boom. All right. I'm smacking people with a chain. Maybe I knock someone away. I hold down my regular attack. He does the chain, pulls them in, blasts them with some fire. For the aerial enemies, I'm blasting up using the blaster. Maybe they hop down. I unload the clip. So, like, once you get the character down, there's enough comboing that it's like, all right, you can do some fun things, and it doesn't feel like you're like, oh, we're doing this again. Like, you can really like combo and chain things up. And again, by having two characters, if you really get them down, you're saying, you're bouncing, okay, I'm a little bored, let me switch to this person. Sometimes, like, depending on the level, if I'm like going and you get to the next section, I'd be like, all right, let me switch things up. And again, having the ability to have the character kind of come out and like do a punch or do their special made things feel very not only fluid, but like I never felt like I was like trapped. It was very dynamic. That being said, with the roster, everyone feels someone's honking outside. I don't even know if you guys can hear that. But anyways, hopefully the characters feel very distinct from each other. So even if you are playing like two heavy characters, right? So you have She-Hulk and you have Beta Ray Bill, both very big characters. They're different even from the way of like blocking. She-Hulk will actually like block the attack, whereas Beta Ray Bill will kind of like dash out the way. And just having those things for the blocking makes things completely different. Like again, I was playing with Cosmic Ghost Rider and Wolverine. Wolverine is a dash out the way. Cosmic Ghost Rider is a block person. So a lot of times I had to remember like, okay, like I'm getting hit, I need to remember to block. Whereas when you can dash out the way of an attack as Wolverine, I'm bouncing around. I'm not even really worried about it because I'm just like so like in the flow of his combat that I didn't have to really think about it. Whereas Cosmic Ghost Rider, even though I'm doing my combos, I have to think about like, okay, you gotta block right now. Like you can't keep taking these hits, man. This isn't Rocky. And so yeah, I feel like just playing the characters, they're all just so different. Everyone has their own little combos and the ways that they move. And, I was surprised, for example, when you're playing Rocket and when you press his regular attack, if he's not on top of a character, he's using a blaster. But once he gets up there, he starts throwing hands. So I was like, oh, okay, that's a little, you know what I'm saying? So every character has their own way of like, okay, how do I utilize their moves? How do I make these combos? And then on top of that, you know what I'm saying? Like you got your other secondary character and you're like, so you can really mix and match things, and it never feels like, oh, I'm stuck like in a groove. And then every single level when you're going through the campaign, you can pick a different character, so it really gives you a chance to get to know everybody levels up, so they get even stronger along the way. It really didn't take too many levels for me to get to max level. I think like, I don't know, let's say like 4 levels, and I felt like I was pretty much max level with Cosmic GR and Wolverine. And then I could have switched out, but I already, once I pick a team, I pretty much stick to them. So yeah, levels, art style is cool, combat's awesome, the way that you have 2 characters, that's great. Deep cuts, yeah, this game is a lot of fun, but it is not it's not as good of a game as I wish it was. There are some issues that I did find with the game. I'm looking at my notes. So some of the issues I had, so again, I played this game by myself, got through it in about 5 hours. Just I was playing with my brother, and I was like, oh, we were playing a different game, but I was like, hey, we should all play together because I have a bunch of siblings. So we played, and we ended up getting through the game in like an hour because for some reason the game doesn't scale to how many people are actually playing. So when we played 4-player, not only is it absolute chaos, even like the punching sound is like, I swear that's like all you hear, but it's absolute chaos. You can't really tell what in the world is going on. On top of that, the game doesn't scale. Like you don't get more waves of enemies. The bosses aren't harder. And so you just feel like it's a cakewalk. Like we got through it like it was absolutely nothing. And I was like, that's so weird that the game doesn't modify everything in the back end for you guys to have more of a challenge. It's just the same exact game, but with more people running around the screen. And so I was like, oh man, if I had played this game only multiplayer with 4 people, I'd be like, oh, this game's kind of mid. So that being said, I really do think if you get this game and you want to play with someone else, I think you should just stick to 2-player. At least when it comes to the campaign, because it is not scaled for 4 people, and that's a huge oversight. I really don't know how that happened, but yeah, 4-player campaign, I think even 3 players would be too much. Like really just stick to 2 if you want to have like a really fun but kind of challenging time in terms of the campaign. Some of the other issues I've had, the bosses, So none of the bosses I found really hard, except for I think when you're fighting Phyla Vel, but it wasn't even that she was a hard boss. It was, that might be a spoiler, but anyways, it wasn't even that she was a hard boss. It was the fact that like when you're getting through boss fights, there's a part where they'll have their shield essentially, and you'll see it like pop up. It's like a yellow outline of their health bar, and there each time I was going into that level, which I hated that level, but each time I'm kicking her ass, right, and she has like a quarter of her, not even, yeah, like a quarter of her life left or whatever. The shield would pop back up. And then for some reason, she would like lock in and then she'd kick my ass. And then it'd be like, okay, well, I can beat her, but like, you keep giving her that shield and then suddenly she locks in out of nowhere. And it just felt more annoying than it did challenging. But in terms of the bosses, she's the only one that actually felt challenged by because of the way that it was set up. Each level I got through pretty much the first time. Maybe I messed up and I was like, oh, I should have blocked. You know, I should have zigged when I zagged. And I had to do it maybe a second time. But that one with Phyla Vel, I did like 5 times. Granted, some of it was the environmental stuff in that particular level that kept like kicking my ass and getting on my nerves. But other than that, yeah, I got everything pretty easy. And when it got to some of the later bosses and even the final boss, Annihilus, I didn't feel particularly challenged. And unless I'm missing something, I don't think there was like a difficulty thing that popped up when you start the campaign. So I was like, oh, this game was kind of even though it took me 5 hours, it's just because of the amount of levels. It didn't feel like I wasn't like continuously getting my ass kicked, be like, oh my god, this game is taking longer than it should. I actually felt like I could have blasted through this game even faster, really. So it's like, oh, if you're better than me and you're used to playing beat 'em ups, you might get through this in, you know, even less time than 5 hours. Like, you might get through this in like 3 hours. So yeah, this game's really short. And again, some of the later bosses, like one of them, I was just like, that's it? Seriously? So I think they need to like go in and scale some of them or something. They need some sort of update. This is a small nitpick. Another thing is that Beta Ray Bill can't fly. And it's like, I've seen the things. I went on the Reddit and they're like, oh, well, you know, Thor flies by like just spinning his hammer. He just kind of like throws it and holds on. But I'm like, you always think about, you know, Thor flying. And Beta Ray Bill is just another Thor. So I'm just like, he should be able to fly. I really don't know why he shouldn't fly. And I know one of his moves is that you can throw his hammer. So I'm like, okay, well, if I'm flying and I throw my hammer, just make me fall back down to the ground and then call the hammer back and I can fly. I think that's weird that he can't fly, especially when, you know, I think in one of the trailers or something, like they show him flying. So it's like, make him fly. He's a flying character. I don't care about the logic because we see Thor fly all the time and he's just another Thor. So he should be someone who flies. The other thing is that the cosmic, so when you do a level or whatever, you get these cosmic cubes and then you can go to the main menu and then you go to the little vault and then you have this grid, and on the grid that's where you can unlock some stuff. So you have like music or files on the characters, extra costumes, modifiers for arcade mode. And this felt like, I was like, I kind of wish this wasn't here at all. I really wish that as you went through the levels, you would find the files, you would find the music, you would find the extra costumes and the modifiers. And they were just like the same symbols, it's just throughout the level. And I think that would incentivize more replay, more of a reason to kind of explore the level, you know, really hit everything and see like, oh, is there a secret here? And then, you know, if you finish the level, it would show you like, oh, hey, you got like, you know, you did some of the challenges, but you also missed the music files. And, you know, and again, it would be like, okay, well, let me run it back. Let me maybe try some new characters. Let me see if I can get some new combos going. Let me match these two people together. So I think by taking that out and having it be like this whole separate menu thing, it's just kind of like, you guys should have implemented this into the campaign and again, or arcade mode, and just, you know, have a reason for people to keep replaying your game. Because I felt like once you're done, and if you don't have friends to like play with this, if you're not gonna go online and play with randos either, it's kind of like, do I want to play? Do I want to pay $30 and get through this game in like 3 to 5 hours and that's it? Like, I don't know. I could see arguments for being like, oh, that's it, and like waiting for this game to like go on sale, or like waiting for DLC, which we don't know if it's gonna come, because as of recording this, when I looked it up, they were like, we'll see if people like it, and then we'll decide if we're gonna do DLC. So if we take their word at value, it's like, So yeah, I think this is a game that I feel like could almost be a 10 or even a 9, really. And I think just because of the way that the game doesn't scale to multiplayer, the fact that the collectibles are behind some of the, or what I feel like should be collectibles, are behind this other menu where you just kind of like press square and you're like, cool, I unlocked this thing. The way that the bosses are like scaled differently, and they don't really get harder as you get deeper into the game, and the way that Beta Ray Bill can fly. I mean, I think it just knocks everything down. I probably give this game like an 8.5, but again, I think it's really close to a 9, and I think if they can do some updates and put out some really good DLC and give us some more characters, I can see the game easily being a 10. I've looked up online because now I have the bug, and I'm like, I want to play some more beat 'em up games. I know everybody and their mama seem to be talking about Shredder's Revenge, so I'm like, okay, maybe I'll have to scoop that up Christmas. You know what I'm saying? See what's up with that. But aside from that, some things I want to say before I end this video is that I think the enemy variety is great. Those are the things that scale. Like the fact that when you get to some of the later levels, it's like, okay, here's the same character, but like they're a different color, and now they're giving you the hands. Like they weren't trying before, but now there's a little more, a fight for them. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, again, a good variety is like, okay, cool. These, got all these enemies on the screen. Okay, I hate the shield guys. I gotta take those guys out. These flyer guys are annoying, but whatever. But these flyer guys, I gotta knock them out because they get on my nerves. I know there's like the one particular enemy that's like a worm. Annoying. Anytime I saw, I was like, they gotta go first. Get them out of here. Just because of the way that they particularly attack you. It's just not even like, they're not even hard. It's just like, you're doing your thing again. I gotta get you out of here. And then the other thing is that a couple days ago, me and my brothers tried arcade mode with some of the modifiers that I was saying that you can collect. So we put it on hard mode. We put it on, you can put on like how many waves of enemies you want. So we're like, okay, put it on 4 players. We gave the enemies more life, and we made them faster. And the other thing about arcade mode is that, and I didn't know this, I don't know if my brothers knew this, you just keep going, and like keep going as in like, all right, you pick these 2 characters, you're gonna play through the whole story of these 2 characters, and like if you're half health on level 1, level 2, you start at half health. So we've only gotten, I think we ran it like 4 times, and the most we got was like halfway through the story. So like that's where the fun is like, okay, cool, we got the modifiers in arcade mode. Now we got more of a challenge. All right, everybody, lock in, pick your best characters. We're calling out like, hey, I need health. Like, okay, cool, I found the pizza, come grab it. So that's where the fun is. But again, you have to get through the campaign. You have to do all the unlocks for the vault just to get to this spot of, okay, cool, now we're being challenged as a group. But we had to do all this work to get here, to change their game, to kind of work for the way that we're playing. And again, that's only in arcade mode where you're like, okay, I'm just going to pick with these. I'm just going to stick these 2 characters. And I think that implementation that you have in arcade mode should just naturally be in the back end of campaign mode. So yeah, if you're going to play with 3 to 4 characters, I do recommend getting through the campaign, getting the cubes, going to the vault, unlocking the modifiers, and then going to arcade mode, and then putting it on like all the hard mode stuff. so that you actually have more of a challenge. So yeah, this game was good, and I could see the greatness in it. I could see the potential. It's so close. But as of right now, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. I'm really hoping that they can do all the stuff to make this game even greater. I'm hoping for, personally, give me Blade. Does it make sense? No. But he's my second favorite character. They already got the other, like my top 5 are just regular Ghost Rider, Blade, Venom, Wolverine, and then Bishop from the X-Men, or Bishop and then Wolverine from the X-Men. So yeah, give me, Bishop would be good too. So yeah, either give me Bishop or Blade. That's what I'm voting for. But yeah, let me know what you think about this game below. If you're gonna pick it up, if you already picked it up, let me know who your squad is, or your duo essentially. And also, let me know what characters you would want if we do get DLC. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching the video. Until next time, peace.